So we have Quentin Tarantino's 8th film, not his 9th, and is it his best yet or a huge disappointment? Let's talk about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in to my opinion/review for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I really do appreciate it. Now, this film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, is being written and directed by Mr. Quentin Tarantino. I'm pretty sure you've heard of his work before, but if not, he directed Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, The Hateful Eight, Inglourious Basterds, Django Unchained. I mean, his filmography is stacked, and he's knocked pretty much every film he's been a part of out of the park. Now, this film right here is being described as a comedy drama, and Quentin Tarantino said himself that this is a love letter to LA. But what is it about exactly? Well, a faded television actor and his stunt double strive to achieve fame and success in the film industry during the final years of Hollywood's golden age in 1969 Los Angeles. Now, going into this film, I had high hopes, heavens, that this thing would be one of the best things ever. I'm a big fan of Quentin Tarantino. I enjoy most of all of his films. I even own them on DVD and Blu-ray. The first thing I liked about this film was Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. Their performances in this movie were freaking outstanding. So you have Leonardo DiCaprio playing Rick Dalton and Brad Pitt playing Cliff Booth, his stunt double. Rick Dalton is an action star in the late 1960s in LA Hollywood. And the height of his career is pretty much over. He's frustrated and he just really doesn't know what to do with his life. But his counterpart, Brad Pitt, very funny. You know, he's staying confident and like, you know, he still has the whole world in front of them. Now, seeing these two characters bounce off of each other worked very well in the film. They got along on film, and even behind the scenes, they said that they work so well together that they can't wait to work together again. And like I said, it really did show on screen. Now, while both of these actors' performances was great, I did care for Brad Pitt's a bit more, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But one of the great things about this film is how you see how an actor can act on screen, how we see actors in the public, how they, you know, sometimes act like they have all their stuff together, everything is organized, like everything just flows smooth with them throughout their days in their Hollywood career. But in this film right here, we see Rick Dalton, Leonardo DiCaprio behind the scenes, and seeing him emote, seeing him being frustrated with not knowing exactly what's going to happen next in his career was pretty entertaining, and I did enjoy it just a little bit. Going back over to Brad Pitt, all the scenes of tension had to do with his character. And that's one of the things that Quentin Tarantino is known for. He's known for his long dialogue, how he can stretch a scene from here to Kingdom Come. And any other director really couldn't do that without you getting bored. But there's just something about Quentin Tarantino's energy that he's able to produce this and provide high quality entertainment for his audience. And within this film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he did that with Brad Pitt, but unfortunately not in other aspects of the film, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Now, to me, there are about 3 scenes of tension, and all those do belong to Mr. Brad Pitt. He is the best thing in this film to me overall by far. And I have to give it to Mr. Quentin Tarantino while he is giving us a behind the scenes look at how some of the actors can act, you know, while they're trying to transition through their lives. He also gives us a backshot story of how films are made as well. Process of an actor or actress forgetting or remember their lines and needing help. And just also him cutting back to reenactments to old films back to decades and hundreds of years ago. And the cinematography that is used when these scenes are flipping back and forth was really compelling. While those are the good things in the film, I want to now talk about the bad. And unfortunately, guys, this movie was boring as hell. I was ready to go. I've never felt this way for any film in quite some time, let alone being Quentin Tarantino. I wasn't able to pull out my phone because we had to turn them off, and I did not have a watch, but I did want to know what time it was. But I was afraid to look at the same time, even though I couldn't, because I felt that would make time pass by much longer. While I did enjoy Leonardo DiCaprio's performance in this film, I did not care for his character at all. I just didn't do anything to grab me. There was nothing that I could relate to. And I don't necessarily need to relate to a character to like him, but I was just bored out of my mind. That doesn't mean that he didn't do a great job. but I just wasn't able to gravitate towards his character. But that's not the case with Mr. Brad Pitt, like I said earlier. While he was the best thing in this film, he did have all the scenes with tension, and I did care about his character much more. And like I said before, Quentin Tarantino is known for his long dialogue and extended shots, and the way he can stretch out a scene. But that did not work for this film. As I was watching, I just did not understand where we were going with the plot or the story. He said that this is a number of parallel stories happening at one time, one having to do with Margot Robbie, and again, they just didn't do anything for me. It was just completely disjointed, jarring, discombobulated in every sense. And I was just frustrated, just like, okay, where are we going with this? I just don't care. The only character in this film that I cared about was Brad Pitt. And when he wasn't on the screen, I was frustrated. I mean, we even had the great Al Pacino in this film, and Quentin Tarantino specifically wrote a role for him. But when he was on screen, I was just like, ugh. You're not doing anything for me. I'm bored. I want to go. I don't want to be here. And that really doesn't make any sense. I really love Quentin Tarantino's films. I have Pulp Fiction right here on Blu-ray. Kill Bill Volume 2. Kill Bill Volume 1. Django Unchained. And also The Hateful Eight. And I did enjoy Inglourious Basterds in every other film that he's put out. But this one right here, in my opinion, is his worst. Now, I can understand if you are a big Quentin Tarantino fan, if you loved all of his films, if you are really deep into film and behind the scenes, and also are in love with Hollywood, LA, 1969, this may be the best film for you. But some of those things that I just listed aren't at the top of the ranks for me, and I just was not able to jump into this film in the way I wanted. Even though my expectations were high, they weren't through the roof. I mean, they was at a respectable level given this man's filmography. Unfortunately, this film wasn't for me. I hope it's for you. Let me know what your favorite Quentin Tarantino film is down below. I will go ahead and say that the last 15 to 20 minutes of this film was the best part. I enjoyed every moment of it, and if we had the same energy as we did in the last 20 minutes throughout the whole film, this could possibly be his best. But in this case, it wasn't. If I had to rate Once Upon a Time in Hollywood out of a 1 out of 10, I would give it a 6 out of 10. Yes, a 6 out of 10. But guys, that is just my opinion. What do you think of the movie? What do you think about my review? Please let me know down in the comment section below. Well, guys, if you liked the video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up. Also consider subscribing and look me up on social media. And guys, I just want to thank you again for tuning in to my opinion/review for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.